Yeah, as I say, Empire Strikes Back is definitely my favourite. Star Trek? Yeah, well, if you got Wookiees here, what you got Klingons.
Star Wars has become something monumental and huge for so many people, for so many different reasons, all around the world. It's just a tiny fan base level to a large fan base level to a cultural level, even to a spiritual level for some people in regards to the Force and what people believe everywhere. How does it feel? I know to you guys it's probably like, yeah, I did this, it's no big deal really. I was a part of it, it was a movie that I did, it's cool that it's so big. But how does it really feel to know that you guys have played such a part in people's lives? As silly as some of us fans might seem, how does it feel to know that you have really touched our souls in such a way to really have a love for this kind of movie and for these characters? You know, I think it's pretty awesome. How does it make you feel?
No, sorry. You know what, to tell you the truth, being a kid from New Zealand, I'm very honored. I mean, if you see me at my table, people are like, what are you on? You're always so energetic, you know, hyper, happy, you know, but you gotta realize, Star Wars has given us all, even everybody, this opportunity to be able to be involved in something that we would never be able to even think about if it wasn't for the man George Lucas. Every day I go to sleep and I pray to God, and I pray to God, pray about George Lucas, hope he's in good health and he's in good spirits, you know, and in the morning I do the same, and hopefully he's thinking about me as much as I'm thinking about him, but, you know what? I'm an honored little kid too. Oh, not a little kid anymore. I'm 24 now. I keep thinking I'm a little kid still. But you know, it's a great honor. I mean, to be able to 10 years later come out and still sign autographs and still come out and take pictures with people. I mean, what kind of gift? I mean, I have movies that I loved forever, but I don't know these actors. I'll probably never see them ever again in life. But because of these conventions, they're the thing that keeps Star Wars alive, and the fans keep coming back. So I mean, it's a partake with everything. I mean, Star Wars, as you said, not only is a toy, kids, adults, it's become a religion. I mean, you know, you can actually become a Jedi. But, you know, it's amazing what George Lucas created for all of us to enjoy. So, I mean, for me, I'm very grateful, humble about my experience, and I don't forget a day on set. I mean, I have so many stories of every actor, so it's, you know, it's unbelievable that I was able to enjoy that and partake. So I'm a lucky kid, you know. Peter's a lucky kid too.
I think we're all lucky. Us for having, or us for trusting in a man with a story. That he has looked at you and said, yes, you can do this. Therefore, you are lucky, because in the acting world, these parts are very few and far between. Therefore, they press on to other people. They are there, they've had the opportunity, they've got everybody, they've made a performance, they've done something that has got people talking. And when you come to a convention like this, and with some of the enormous lines that you have to wait before I realised this, people start talking, and then they get together afterwards, or they meet, and they meet up on other occasions. Oh, you were at so-and-so last year, or you were there. It's a meeting place, it's a story, it's something that people can believe in. And let's face it, these days, they're imagined. So that is my opinion of why Star Wars is still so successful.
How you doing? My name's Josh, and my question for Peter is a two-part question. I want to know if you're familiar with the death of Chewbacca, and what are your thoughts on that?
Well, the death of Chewbacca. Someone had a kid.
I killed him.
Yeah.
Actually,
I learned about this from, I was over in Germany doing a convention, and kept getting these phone calls. Strange. Oh, by the way, there's a book coming out, and you don't survive. who the hell is this? It happened to be Steve Sanswick from Witherspoon. I thought, okay, fair enough, the book, you know, was there. But he said, this does not affect any of the movies. It's just the books. I met Salvador Dali a couple of months afterwards. And he said, you know, someone had to do it. So, and I got a personal signed copy from it saying, sorry mate. And it sits on the library, it sits on the library shelf at home. And we're still, you know, we're good buddies, but you know, we associate with each other. So, you know, someone, you know, it's a good way of getting hit by 2 asteroids. But whoever thought that Chewie is dead? There is a possibility that they missed him, but we will have to wait and see. It's all right. Okay.
Thank you very much.
I got 3 questions for all 3 of y'all. First one, for Peter, did you also play Chewie?
Sorry,
Did you also play Chewie? Yeah, he was Chewie.
yeah, I was Chewie, yes. What's the second part?
For Daniel,
All right.
did you really like it?
I really like it.
Like, did you have fun instead?
You know what? I got to have fun with everybody. I mean, Ewan McGregor, he's the greatest person that I was able to work with, besides myself. Sorry, guys. I got to drive the golf cart around. I was about your size, but I was 13. Yeah, I was a tiny little guy. And I wasn't able to drive a car at the time, so I would drive this golf cart around. I couldn't really see over it. I was just driving, you know, like, and then like, jump on in, you know, I'll drive everybody around. So Ewan and I, we used to like do crazy stuff on the golf cart together. Well, one day we snapped off this little governor. They mounted this like little screw or something into the pedal of the golf cart, so you couldn't push at a certain speed. Well, we snapped that off so we could go at full speed. Well, there was this little dip in the driveway where it would go down on the slope. Well, Ewan, he was like, watch this, watch this. So he gets in, he drives from one of the studios down to the other studio, and he's hauling it, you know, like speeding it. So as he gets down in front of the studio, right in front of me, he slams on the brake and turns the thing sideways, like, dah, dah, dah. So as a little boy, I'm like, oh, that's awesome, let me get a turn. So he's like, okay, here you go, you know, like, jump on in, here we go. So I jump on in, and as I'm jumping in the cart, all I hear is, get that kid out of that car. Well, one of the ADs had seen what he'd done, realized what I was about to do, and was like, I can't have him doing that. So then they cut me off from the golf carts. They wouldn't let me ride the golf carts anymore. So I'm sitting there looking at you and like, man, you ruined all my fun, you know? So, get this. I'm leaving the studio. It was my last day of filming, right? He meets me at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning and takes me for a drive around the studio for an hour, 2 hours, right? In the pitch dark. There is me and him. He's sitting there watching me just drive. And like, just allowing me to drive, you know, because he ruined that experience for me. He made up for it times a million because of how cool he was. And we just drove there in the dark, you know, me and him in the dark, and that was a really, really cool experience. And then I had so many stories I could go into days. I'll tell you one more story. This is my funny story. I always think about my dad. I actually forgot about this story. I met Christopher Lee, right? He is this humongous man. And at the time I was so tiny, I didn't know who he was. Well, I'm sitting in this pitch black studio, and there's me, my Nana. My Nana was like my mother. Anything she asked me to do, I would do it, not even thinking about it. So she hits me, she's like, oh my God, son, look at it. She called me son. She's like, do you know who that is? And I'm like, some old man? That was my answer, you know? And she's like, no, Daniel, don't be stupid. That is Christopher Lee. And I'm like, that's Christopher Lee. And I'm like, can you take me to go meet him? Take me to go meet him. I'm like, no, I haven't even met him myself. You want me to introduce you? Okay, why not? Let's go. So I took her up to go meet him, right? And she was all like, you know, fangirlish. Oh my God. So we got to talking, and he goes, so my boy, is this your first film? And I said, oh yeah, this is my first big film. How many have you done? My boy, I've done over 200 films. So, as a kid reaction, I turned around and I'm like, oh my God, you must be really old. Right? Like 200 films. So, he gives me this look like, what? So I'm like, oh, this my dad is like, you know, idols, I better make up for it. So I'm like, what, like 52? So he goes, my boy, you have made my day. You know, and it was just a really cool experience, you know. So I had a lot of fun. A lot of fun. I got my own Peter. Sorry, I thought I'm Peter's slave. Oh, Jake's turn.
Yeah. Yeah. What's your question?
Did you ever hang out with Daniel?
No,
Daniel.
I've never met this guy before in my life. Yeah.
He was on the other side of the force.
Yeah.
All these guys.
No, I met him a few years later after we filmed it. I had a job for him.
I was a pool boy.
No, I lost track of some people, and Daniel was kind enough to go hunt them down.
Yeah, I love you guys ever since I was a squirt. I just wanted to ask a quick question. Do any of you are going to use appear or use a voice cameo in Clone Wars or any upcoming Star Wars flicks?
I know Daniel's got the Boba
and all the little clones.
And hopefully I did the last one of this season's Clone Wars, which hopefully will lead to something else. You never know. And I think they were pleased with the voices, so we'll just have to wait and find out. It's one of those crazy jobs.
And I'm part of it. I've been doing it for 2 years now.
Yeah.
It's an amazing. It's an amazing thing that what they've done. See, you gotta realize after episode 6, they lost 16 years. I think it was 16 years before episode 1 came out. So they missed a whole generation. But George Lucas is the smartest man on earth. He said, well, these people are not even children. So we could pick up on them and pick up on their children at the same time, you know, make a cartoon. So it was a great idea. Now everybody's you know, everybody's watching Star Wars, you know. And I just think it was a great thing for them to be able to do, to tie everybody back to Star Wars, you know. Because we're coming to mention there was a generation lost. Like my generation. I never knew what Star Wars was before I actually was filming in the movie. They made me watch the movies. They're like, you want to be in this? Yeah, watch 5, 6, 7. 4, 5, 6. It's been a long night. Sorry, guys. I'm talking about the expanded universe now. No, but yeah, it's awesome.
All right. I have 2 questions. The first question is for all 3 of you. The second question is specifically for the Kiwi.
The Kiwi!
All right. Excluding 6 films, those 6 films, what are your favorite movies?
8.5.
Okay.
My favorite movie is What's Eating Gilbert Grape. I watched it with my dad, and I just thought that because as being a kid actor, I could associate to these people because, you know, but they're just so talented for the rest of their career. And that's 2 people I'd love to be like. And, I mean, if you've seen it, you think that Leonardo DiCaprio is really a handicap. I think even back in the time, they actually were worried that they thought he really was, because he played an amazing, amazing job as Arnie. But yeah, you guys, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. I also got another one, it's called Once We're Warriors. Yeah, don't watch that, kids. Maybe for your parents. And it's a good New Zealand film.
Apart from the Star Wars, probably westerns, old westerns, giant, Alamo any of the old Western movies.
Outlaw Josie Wales?
Sorry? Yeah.
Outlaw Josie Wales? All right.
Yeah, so, that's my ones.
So, which is better, Haagen-Dazs or Tip Top?
Tip Top.
Ah!
Yeah. Tip Top. If you haven't been in New Zealand, it's the best ice cream ever. You guys use too much fake stuff in your ice cream here, and it doesn't taste the same.
How much better is it than all I've ever heard?
You know what? It's like 100 times better. Actually, to tell you the truth, I used to only just sit at home and just have a big tub of ice cream. I used to sit there and watch the TV go. That's all I used to eat was ice cream. It's my favorite, actually, my favorite food in the whole entire world. And Tip Top is really good. Haagen-Dazs, it's okay. But yeah.
Okay, I got it. This is the last question, then you have to wrap it up.
Question for Peter. Sadly, we lost the great urban coaster. Sadly, we lost the great urban coaster a couple of months ago, so I was just wondering, what's your experience working with him?
Irvin, wonderful director. Each one of the directors were different. Georgie's different, Irvin was different. Irvin, one of those guys, to me, he was a show director. He would show you what he wanted, and then give you 25% either side. With working in that particular costume, with that, I can think of many movies, scenes where it would be very, very dangerous. Hair, oxyacetylene, welding. He would give you a certain space either way to do that and still get the shots that he wanted. He had that wonderful way of going, I want to do it this way, blah, 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 and now do it. And he would only, we wouldn't shoot much, but what he shot was very, very good. So to me, another passing of an icon, basically. So, as I say, let's keep everything together and let's keep the directors that we've got.
I think I'm going to change my name to Sir. Sir Daniel Logan. That sounds really good, doesn't it? Sir Jake Lloyd. Oh, that's your cell phone. Well,
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
And tables. We'll do the commercials now.
I hit my head, man. I tell you what, I got more energy than the Red Bull.
Get your Red Bull out of here.